Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to 31st day of improving chess with Sagar and the comedians. Uh, so good to see that all of you are here. In fact, yesterday was the first day in many days, I would say in 31 days, that we didn't have a session at 8 a.m. in the morning. Uh, and it seems like as if we are meeting again after such a long time, yeah, although it was just a day. But I think it has to do with the fact that we are also used to waking up at 8 a.m., meeting here, improving at chess, working with me and also with Samay, Biswa, and Vaibhav. It has been a great experience. So, well, we are back. The reason I couldn't make it yesterday was that there was a death in my family, and I had to be there. And yeah, sometimes being at a place where you see death makes you very philosophical about life, and that was the same thing about me. I think it was in many days yesterday that I did not open my laptop. I did not do any work, but I guess we are all back to the things we love, and chess is definitely one of them. Okay, so today the plan is to do something very interesting, and I thought of it while you know let's wait for the comedians to join. I i i did get a message from Samay saying that he tried very hard to stay awake until 7 a.m. and he was awake, but then he couldn't keep his eyes open. And uh, Vaibhav is up. He will be joining in, and I think Biswa too will join. But like always, Biswa comes at his own time, around 8:30 or so. So should we play a game? I think that's always a nice way to begin. So let's go to play chess. Yeah, yeah. Let's go. I'm pretty okay. No need to cheer me up. I'm fine. So I'll just share my screen. Yeah, and let's go to the comedians room. It's there in the description if anyone doesn't know where it is. And I would like to play a 5-minute game. Let's see. Uh, I'll wait for. Okay, let's play with Sumed, who is one of the moderators and a good player. He's been asking since many days. Let's see. I think Sumed's internet is not so great, perhaps. Cannot contact opponent, that's what it says. Okay, let me try again. Sumed, you need to do something about your internet. Even the other day in Dr. Chess, you were there, and somehow I got you on air, but it didn't work. Okay, now it's fine. E4. I must play what I am preaching, yeah, in my opening sessions. Karo Khan. By the way, guys, how was the Dr. Chess session? I think number one that we did day before yesterday. Um, I think the feedback was pretty good, and we should continue with the series, in my opinion. This is a typical maneuver, yeah. Like once the bishops are exchanged, you go queen a5, queen a6, and you exchange the queens. And I believe that this endgame is very, very preferable for black. Let's see if I'm able to outwit Sumed in this system. But it seems like black has very comfortable play. Like he'll play his knight to Okay, he wants to come knight b5 now. I don't see it as a big problem, so let's go knight c6. My idea is rook c8, and if then knight c7. Okay, how about playing c4? Yeah, I like this. It opens up my bishop. It kind of closes in the structure. And next move I can play rook c8. Nice. Okay, I think it's slightly passive. I can go b5, b4. I should be a little careful about my development, but I'm okay. Like, you know, we know that the king in the sort of semi middle game end game is a decent piece. So I will try to keep it in the center if possible. Knight b4. Okay, that's interesting. I don't want to exchange the knights so that his pawn structure improves. So now I can make some use of my king, but then he goes knight g5 attacking f7. That's a problem. So how about we go knight b8, hoping, or knight d8, hoping that we can... that's a good idea. Go king d7. But he... Like knight g5, I had knight d8. But if he takes, king takes, knight g5, my f7 pawn is not... I cannot defend it. Okay, let me go knight d8. Goes bishop g5. Seems okay. Knight b8 was also fine. My plan now is to play a5 followed by knight c6 and b4. You know, just kick that knight away. Big thanks to Daksh Jain, who says, good morning Sagar, can I have a game with Samay, Vaibhav, Biswa or you? Hope you are now okay. My Playchess ID is Indian King. Thank you. I will make sure that you get a chance to play. Let's see if Vaibhav is here. Vaibhav is here. Let me admit him. Hello. Hi Vaibhav.
Hey Sagar, hi.
Hi. Good to see you.
I can see you're playing a game. Please continue. I'll just spectate.
Yeah, sure. I will just put you on the screen. Okay, he goes bg5. I saw that a5 is not an issue because now if bishop d8, king d8, knight c6, king d7, knight seems to be trapped. Yeah, so he has to go back. And now maybe just develop the bishop to e7. I think white must do something active in this position. If he plays very passively, okay, h4 doesn't make too much sense to me. I want to now get my rook to b8 and push b4. That's the plan. Let's see what he has in store for that. Rook b1. Okay. Maybe he wants to play b3. But that would weaken his pawn structure. Yeah, he does play b3, so he did go for that. But now c3 is sort of weak, and I can go like rook b6 to attack c3 pawn. Yeah, I also have a weakness on b5, so it's not like completely clean, but I believe that I should be able to get something out of here. Like if... Let's see, it's not straightforward, that's for sure. Okay, knight g5. Interesting move. I think I can take it. My bishop... Although I was wondering if I can trap that knight. Okay, let's take hg. And now, we should remember the principle of two weaknesses and try to open up another front. Okay, he has the idea of anyone, nd3, and so on. It's not simple. It's not simple, this position. How about I go a4 and win the c3 pawn? So now I can take on c3. Okay, at least I'm a pawn up. Yes, I'm a little bit low on time, but should be able to manage it. Rook b4. Okay, take here. Then let's go with the rook. Other rook goes to c6. My rooks are going from c6, not from c8. So I think white is lost here. a3 is also falling. But yeah, you should always be careful when you're winning. Rook a2. Okay, here. Knight to e3. How about playing... I don't know. So many ways to get a better position. I think rook d3 makes a lot of sense. First a check. Let's push him back. And let's get the other rook in. Yeah, now this rook d3. And now rook c3. So kind of my rooks made this little maneuver to... Okay. Knight king here. King c3. Oh my god, is my rook going to get trapped there? Not really. Not really. Okay, b4, knight b4. Yeah. Okay, let's go king b6. King a5. My idea is now to play b4 and exchange of things. Should be good. King d3, b3 looks good. Yeah, b3. Next we can go knight b4, check, and should be finishing him off now. Rook. Yeah, let's exchange the knights. It's a good idea, and then we can push the a pawn down the board. Oops! Blundered. Oh no. I was just going king b4. What the hell did I do? Shouldn't have done that. Very silly. Maybe I'm just lost now. No, not lost, but okay. Poor technique on show. Poor technique. But okay, still winning. That's the good news. But I was very unhappy. Very unhappy that this. Okay, 4 pawns is okay to win now. Okay, Sumedh is playing very fast. He wants to win on time. I like his competitive spirit. I think it's too much to expect to win this one. Yeah. Okay, guys, that was a good win. Vaibhav, welcome. Yesterday was a short break for us, but we are back.
Yep. Yep. How are you, Sagar? All good?
Yeah, did you wake up still at 8 a.m.?
I did. I woke up at like 7. I woke up at 7:56. Yeah.
Yesterday also.
Yeah. Oh, yesterday I woke up like 7:30.
Oh, because I thought there's no session, you'll go back to sleep, but it seems like now, when once you cross 21 days, I think it becomes a habit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a body clock thing now.
Yeah. Okay, let me quickly share my screen with you. Today, Vaibhav, I'm going to do something very interesting. Uh,
Nice.
I'm going to teach you a new opening,
Okay.
and we are going to learn it I'm going to show you how to learn an opening, by the way. So this was a good game by Sumed, and we should analyze it and learn from it. So first, just very quickly, let's have a look at it. Okay, so you can see my screen.
Hmm. I can.
Okay, and I have not seen any real problems with the sound as such. So that's good to know that there are no sound issues. Okay, so e4 c6 d4 d5. This is the Karokan system with c6 d5 that I have been advocating also in my opening sessions, and it's a very solid opening. So d5, uh, e5, bishop f5, and yeah, just a second. Yeah, he played bishop d3, and here I think I was I know this idea from before, that you take and you play e6, and then when your opponent goes knight f3, you give a check here and you exchange the queens. Like, this is very common. If he doesn't exchange the queens, then he cannot castle easily because the queen is sitting here. So short castle is not possible. And if he moves the knight and tries to go long castle, then also long castle, then also the queen is pretty well placed. So he took, and in this end game, like, you exchange the queen, so it's like a semi middle game end game scenario. Black is kind of safe because white's pawns are looking like this. Yeah, we know this rule, that whichever side the pawns point, you play in that direction. So white should be playing this way, and black should be playing this way. So in a way, if the queens are off the board, the even the kingside attack, like sort of with the pawn push, will not be very effective. So that is the entire concept of this queen exchange. I took, he castled, and I played c5, uh, kind of latching onto this pawn. He played c3, and now I developed knight a3, knight c6, rook a c1. And Vaibhav, what would you play here now as black? Like, what do you think should black do?
Not h6 first of all, and
Sorry, not h6. Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, here h6 might not be very silly because at some point
yeah,
knight g5 or bishop g5 are stopped, but it's not a big threat yet.
yeah. Um, I'm actually thinking just f7 and then castle, but
You
let
you
me
mean
think if
bishop
there's
e7?
bishop e7 and castle. I can't believe that from f7 you considered bishop e7. Okay, bishop e7 and castle. Sorry, yeah.
The main problem is that I don't know where I want to keep my king. Do I want to put it on g8? Because I know that soon the battle is going to begin here. Oops, sorry.
Right.
So when the battle is going to begin on the queen side, I really want my king. You remember the game that we saw between Znosko Borowski, that one, where you had to guess all the moves, you, Biswa and Samay, and
Right.
and in that game also the king was on e8, and a lot of
Hmm.
people said let's castle, but actually he then got his king like this and got it all the way in the position. So
Actually, yeah.
so here it made a lot of sense that first not to castle.
Hmm.
What?
I'm so sorry. Like with your misclicks, I saw that you went knight c7, and that's a great move because now you can push b5.
Yeah, knight c7 was an idea, but you know what I was afraid of? Like knight c7, if I play immediately, then he
Hmm.
will. Let me ask you, what do you think white can do?
Again, your cursor went to c3, so that hinted me that he'll push c4.
Okay,
I'm
I have
sorry,
to
this
I have to
started.
be more careful. But yes, I felt like me being behind in development, like all my rook inside and all this, and he finishing all his development, he will open up the position. So if
Hmm.
he opened up the here, I believe that he should have not played rook c1, which was slightly passive, and maybe should have thought of this move c4. I think what Sumit felt could be an issue is that I would win a pawn with cd4, but he can easily recover the pawn. CD, ED, and knight b5, and I think white will recover the pawn very soon. And you see the position is now opened up for my and my king in the center doesn't look very great. It's a little bit afraid, like, and then I have an isolated pawn. So that's how these rules, like when ahead in development, open up the position comes in handy. And so maybe here knight e7, knight a3, I should have directly gone and closed the position directly. But again, here I was not very happy for one move. Can you guess what white's move should be? This time I have kept the cursor on the side. So
Uh, b3.
yeah, very
Try
good.
to open up that
Very
side.
good. This
Yeah.
is the thing. And somehow he could never have done that if my bishop was attacking the knight, but right now it's blocked. And if I go knight c6 attacking the knight, then knight b5, and still the position will open up because of this pressure. At least one file will get open up. So white's entire concept was to open up this position, but look how he played. Like he played rook c1, c4, b5. He closed it. Instead of opening it, he closed it, and that gave me so much time. Like I went knight c7, and here now comes another important moment. What will you do here?
As black, right?
Yeah, as black.
I- First, I have to take away my knight or capture the knight because my knight on c6 is hanging.
Yeah. So either you can take on b4 or you can do something else. You can defend it, you can move it away.
Oh, I'd rather go a5 with my knight than exchange it.
Yes, I think I think your move is much better than mine. Uh
So even if the knight reaches b3 here,
yeah.
it still has the the d2 square is like अभी भी दो बिशप और उसका नाइट दोनों उसको प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं, वो b3 स्क्वायर. And the only other square that this knight on b3 might affect is c1 and a1.
Yes, but
But
somehow
that's it.
it's a weakness and can attack. By the way, we should welcome the celebrity. The
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Mr. Biswa. How are you?
Very good, very good. How are you?
वेरी गुड. ऐसा लग रहा है आप दो तीन दिन बाद आ रहे हो तो एकदम ऐसा सीरियस मूड में.
नहीं नहीं, जस्ट अभी उठा ना सुबह सुबह तो थोड़ा सा.
Okay, okay. Thanks for coming. You come today. We are going to learn something very interesting. We are going to learn how to prepare a new opening. And
Great.
I'm going to teach you how to do it. And I'm also right now just I played a game before Vaibhav also arrived. So we are just analyzing this game and trying to understand what went wrong. So Vaibhav, when you go knight f5 and put your, let's say he goes bishop e3, okay, just for the sake, and knight b3, my knight does attack some squares which are relevant, some are irrelevant, but on its own it can do nothing. So my idea is that after I plonk the knight there, I will do something more, which is, like say he moves his rook. What should I do so that my knight becomes more effective there?
f6.
एक
f6.
हाँ
You
हाँ.
want to play f6? What's your move, Biswa?
my move is a5.
Yeah, a5, and then I move the knight.
Now b4.
Yeah, directly or here maybe it's also a good move actually. B4. I mean I like it very much. You're losing a pawn, but it's like, let's say he takes. You will recover the pawn with rook b8. And then this guy would become very weak. And now Vaibhav, you start seeing that this knight suddenly looks much better because a file has opened up and he cannot control it. So at this position, knight b3 looks a little misplaced, like kya kar raha hai. But when you open up more lines, and Biswa, this was very interesting. I would have actually prepared this with knight a6 and then gone b4, perhaps. But your move is even more like purposeful. You just want to not wasting time. It's a nice move. So yeah, knight a5 was good. What I did was I played knight d8. I wanted to play a5 basically. And I think Sumit did the right thing by getting a chance to exchange his bad bishop for my knight. Here. So now I understand that I should have actually played knight b8 instead, or knight a5 as you mentioned, to avoid this. And this bishop will forever remain a bad bishop. But I was not very unhappy that this bishop went, because I want to play a5 b4 and this bishop always stops it. So in a way, I got that in my favor. He played bishop g5. I played a5. He took knight c2, and now I played just developed my bishop to e7. H4 was bad. So let's try to think now. If you are white, what would you do here? Because clearly, I mean, in every game, we can just realize that if I have improvement, my opponent also will have improvement. I have not been happy with his play, like a3, quite passive, like rook c1, a3 and on. But still, his position is not like too bad. How should you play here with white?
Knight e3.
Knight?
Okay. e3.
E3, and what's your plan?
Knight g4 basically.
And
then maybe exchange it for the bishop somehow.
Doesn't look
Like
possible,
those
yeah. Like
you have.
knight g4, I can even
No.
kick it with h5, so not much.
Okay.
Think of the concept which I have taught you here. Like there are many that you have learned, but there is one which we have spoken. When there are locked structures like this, these are locked structures with all the pawns on the board. What is the concept? The,
Open it up. B3 actually.
here, if you
King is in the
but
middle.
you play b3, then I'll take, and then I'll play a4, and it doesn't open up, but you lose a pawn. I agree, king is in the middle, so that's why the right moment to open up the position which we discussed was here. When he should have actually played the move c4. My king is still, and he's developed completely. This would have been really good. But this one here, if you play b3 in this position, I think you just lose a pawn. No.
Got it.
I think prepare it with with rook b1.
Yes, but again, my king is very safe here. King d7, and this is what he did in the game. So we'll come to this entire plan, and I'll talk more about it. But there is a better, I think, plan in this position.
I think maybe knight d2.
Okay, what's your idea?
Knight d2, because now I have two options of either starting to push the f2 pawn,
Yeah,
or move push b3 also.
I like your idea, and this is the pawn pointing theory which we had learned. You remember, if the pawns point towards the queen side, you play here. If your pawns are pointing towards king side, you play here. And this is exactly what white should have done. Like if I go king d7, go f4, threatening f5, and suddenly you will see there will be pressure. Rook will start to penetrate here, so I may try to stop it, and then he could go knight e3 with the idea of playing g4 and f5. He should have done this. No matter how difficult or how bad or how good it is, he should do something active, because the way he played in the game, he went h4, no point of this move, king d7, rook b1, and now I went rook f b8, and so I'm all set for my plan b4. So imagine he plays something like g3, I go b4, takes, take, and take. This is just a very bad position for white. This is weak. I'll double, or I'll go rook a2. I may get my knight in, attack this weakness, and look at my structure. It's rock solid. Only weakness is here, but only knight can attack and I can defend. Other piece cannot come. So I'm clearly better. So he did interesting thing, which was like before he gets too passive, he opened up on his own over here. I took, and now rook takes. And now again, your move here. Black to move. I think Vaibhav has already seen this part of the game live, but still, try to think what would you do here for black. Biswa, look at the weaknesses and try to come up with an idea.
Weakness is c3 only, and
c3 and one more.
And a3.
These two are weak pawns.
Okay. B4 attacks both.
But b4 attacks both, but actually you just get rid of the weakness. No, like if you play b4, I take, and also loses a pawn.
A4. I mean, he'll just move the rook, but then the protection of c3 is gone.
Yeah.
What about rook c8 first and then a4?
Yes, that's a good idea. Rook c8, I like it, because you want to attack this pawn here. But the problem is your knight can never move because it's defending your own weakness. So although you want to attack here, the moment knight moves, he takes on b5. Sorry, he takes here. So you need to think of the same idea, but execute it differently. Vaibhav, you can tell. You can also suggest, I guess.
I actually know what you did.
Okay. Okay.
Man, is it king c6?
And the idea?
King c6, then he can't attack the king. So we go to king b6. Now rook comes to c8. It's too
Yeah,
long.
it's
And
not
then
long, but it's also like you got one defender more here, but he will get one more attacker, and still the knight will be tied down. So, and also your king may start coming under the firing line here. That is the problem, like with this. So you don't want to right now get that into the picture. Just think of how you can attack this pawn without moving this knight.
rook b6.
Very good, excellent. This is what I did in the game, and I think it was a very nice move. Also, the point is just to place the rook here. This pawn is very well defended by the knight. I don't want to move it, and once I get it here, he is in trouble. He played rook b1. I played rook c6. He played knight g5, and now black to move and win. Oops, sorry.
a4.
Yes, this is and when the rook moves, you take this pawn. I think it was maybe more accurate to go a4 first than take on g5, because I took and played a4, which gave him the b4 square for his rook. But now he anyway can't go there because bishop attacks, so he has to go back. Then I can take on g5 so that I don't lose this pawn, and then take on c3. You know what happened in the game? Actually, at this point, I started thinking that about what I taught you guys, which is like I have one weakness in control, and I must open up a second front, like a second weakness. So I was thinking in my mind that I should go rook h8 with the idea of h6, and then he takes, and then my rook starts to enter on this side of the board. There are no weaknesses yet, but slowly I might try to probe in somehow, try to get in from here and this. But then I realized I don't need to do this. Sometimes if you can win the weakness, that is the best. So a4.
Sagar, just like, can you go one step back when you captured
Yeah.
the knight? Yeah. So here, why not just push h6, and if the knight captures f7, it's
I
trapped.
thought of it, but there is this square here, which means
Oh yeah, there is.
he will lose the pawn, but somehow I don't want my structure. This was nice structure. I didn't want it to lose it. So I took a4, rook b4 takes, rook b2, rook a6, and now the same thing. Yeah, I never move my knight from here, and I get the other rook into the c file. And now this is a small finesse, I believe, which is like I want to go rook d3 with the idea of now rook c3 and attack this pawn which he cannot defend. But his king might start coming closer. So I first give a check, and then I go like this, like so that his king is pushed away further, and then I can do the same thing. So rook d3, and yeah, I won another pawn, and I think this is pretty simple now. King d3, king c6, so that now I can go knight a6 next move, which I did. Always remember, when two pieces are at a forking distance, he can always sacrifice the rook and fork me somehow. But it's not possible here. I had like checked it, he went back, and now I moved my king immediately. King a5. And just when it seemed like everything was under control. Like, I don't know. I mean, just all I need to do is get my king to b4 and a3, a2, and b2. I don't know what I did. I just pushed my pawn like a3, which gave him the most
Thumbs up.
horrible move of the entire. Still, maybe I'm winning. Maybe, I don't know. It's already difficult. I think he could have just played check
You were
here. No, but it's still winning, I think. Yeah.
you were queening now when he captured the rook. Were you not queening?
When?
If you just push a.
Yeah, I was like check here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, my bad.
This should also be winning. Yeah, this is winning. Oh, this was like maybe this was a master stroke. Yeah, fastest way to win, because a2. If he takes king c2, I queen. If he gives a check, I go king b4. Now he must go down. And now how should black win?
Get the rook somehow to a3 or like
somehow.
in that
Why
side.
somehow?
Right?
How to do it?
Oh, it's simple. c3.
Yeah. Check.
Rook
Very
c3.
good. King d2.
Rook a3.
Yeah, and I'm winning, because if he gives a check, I go here. If he gives a check, I pick up all the pawns and I queen. So actually, Biswa, this was actually a genius move, a3. Fastest way to win, but it was a blunder from my end. I did not see it. And then luckily, I managed to. Okay, in the end, I just collected all the pawns and won. But always when you're winning, it pays to be focused. And
shit, man, I can't believe I missed the chance. Sagar, you played this, but there is a better move. Can you find?
Okay, so guys, ready to learn a new opening?
Yep.
Sure.
Let's save this first. Sumedh, good game. I think what you need to do is not be passive. I think this is a common problem which everyone faces. Like, say tomorrow, Biswa, Vaibhav, both of you suddenly get a chance saying that Vishy Anand is coming, and you get to play a simultaneous exhibition with him. So your first reaction will be like, okay, cool. I should play solidly with him, not make any mistakes. But when you're going to play solid chess against Anand, he's anyway going to beat you because of all his years of experience. And the only way you have some chance against him is to go all out, like, go not attacking chess, but play like I'm not talking about attacking crazily, but here, just this is the best example of this entire game, where he could have actually played the move c4 here and opened up the position when I have real big problems to solve. But he goes rook c1, and then he goes knight c2 and a3. He played so passively that in the entire game I had no issues. I just improved my position. So the most important thing is to give a stronger player some problems to solve. I know that you could go wrong in that because sometimes you may miscalculate or something. But still, this is your best chance to always put pressure on your opponent. Okay. So how to prepare a new opening? Like, let's say today you want to prepare a new opening. Assume the London system. Do you know the London system, by the way?
Little bit.
Vaibhav, have you heard of it?
Just a little. It's like Stonewall without the last pawn, corner pawn.
It's like the Stonewall, but with the bishop not passive on c1, but outside the pawn chain. So how do you learn? Like, what will you do? And this is a question to all the people in the chat. How will you learn how to play the Stonewall?
How to play the Stonewall?
Yeah. Sorry, London system.
As in, how do you learn how to play the London system?
कैसे सीखोगे? क्या करोगे?
Oh, YouTube Sagar Shah London system.
Yeah, basically. Go and see all the variations.
Go and see, like, for example, let's just check an idea. Like, let's say you go here and you go to YouTube and you say London system, chess. And then how to beat really good players with London opening, chess London system, and so on. Yeah, like you see all of these things and you learn it. That's how it works.
अभी तक तो ऐसे ही like I haven't really learned opening just by focusing on the opening. I haven't done it yet, but yeah, this seems to be the way.
What I would do is, just as a like an improvement, is that because when you go online, you will always learn something that someone else is teaching, which is good. I mean, as a starting point. But what about what you really feel? What is your, because they are not taking into consideration what you like and so on. Yeah. So what I usually try to do is I will try to search a top player who plays that opening and then study his games and try to learn from it. Okay, so let's try doing that today. So I open the mega database which has games of all the players, and I'm going to look at a game of one not so well known player, but chalega, let's try. Like क्या होता है देखते. चलेगा आप लोगों को उसका गेम, मतलब ही इज डिसेंट.
You mean Carlson? Okay.
Kalicharan.
I thought you had Mangesh. Yeah, what was his name?
Mangesh Kalicharan.
We can call him Kalu also. Karlu.
So there is one very interesting thing in chess which is like known as the ECO code. ये है A45. If you see London system, or you can just go to Google here and say what is the ECO. It's an encyclopedia of chess opening code of London system. So A46, A48 or D02. So basically A46 to A48. So now I will do is I'll go here into Magnus's game and arrange all his games by ECO code. I'll put you guys up here. So if you see, all the games now are arranged by ECO codes here. And I'll go to A46 if he is played. Yeah, Rakshit Singh says, look up videos of the opening, see the games in the database, and then look at all the defensive lines as well. Yeah, that's not a bad way to learn. So if you see here, you will see all these games. And if you open it, this is not London system.
Okay.
Just trying to. This is actually A46 is not the London. I don't know what I saw here was A45. Okay, A45 was the London. I mean, the reason why I'm looking at ECO code is because sometimes you start with knight f3, sometimes you start with bishop f4, so it's a little bit complex. That's why I don't want to miss out on any of his games. I think A48 also we should check. No, this is not the. Okay, I will try to do it a little better, which is d4 and f6, c4, knight f3, d5. Okay, let's look at this. Carlson. Let's see if Magnus has any games. Okay. So, we found at least some 8 odd games. Although there will be other, like sometimes opponents would have gone g6 and all. So, we'll come to it. But let's study this opening just by looking at this game first, okay? Ravi C says, my brother-in-law keeps playing London system with me and it ends up suffocating all my pieces. Coincidentally, you brought this up. Thanks. Okay, wonderful. I think lot of people have problems against the London, and also they want to learn the London. So bishop f4, e6, e3, bd3. Okay, I'm sorry, I should put it with the white side. So what the London system basically is, you play your pawn to d4, okay, and play knight to f3, then bishop to f4, then pawn to e3, pawn to c3, bishop goes to d3 or sometimes somewhere else, knight d2, and then you castle. Okay, this is the basic idea, all your pieces. So if I had to just make moves for white side, okay, I'll go like knight f3, and I'll just pass the move for black. He'll go bishop f4, I'll pass the move, e3, pass the move, c3, knight d2, bishop d3, castles. And this is basically London. You make a kind of a triangular setup here, and then you have your, Stonewall, Vaibhav, is basically pawn here and bishop here. So it's a little more passive opening, because here you have a piece out. So let's look at this game further, and now that you know, let's see how Magnus continues. e3. Now you see when his go on.
I have a question. So here, knight h5 immediately forces you to exchange.
No, not
the bishop.
really. I'll go knight h5. I'll go bishop g5.
Oh, he just pushes. Oh,
I'll go
okay.
here. And now if you play g5, which you want to now finally win the bishop, it's a blunder. Why?
Knight captures on g5. Knight captures on
g5. And I think this is similar to your game. Whenever knight comes to h5, you must look at this discovered checks attacks. So if you take check and then you win this pawn, it's a check. So you don't really lose the bishop immediately. So bd6. And now I mean, this is always confusing. Should I take the bishop? Should I keep it here so that if he takes, I will take with fe pawn? Should I go back? And Magnus shows the way. He says, I want to put my bishop on g3. तुम मारोगे तो मैं इससे मारूंगा. बोला ठीक है, चलो देखते हैं आगे क्या होता है. c5. तो मैग्नस खेलता है c3. वो अपना सेटअप जो अपन ने सोचा, नाइट c6. नाउ मैग्नस प्लेज नाइट d2. अभी इसने मार दिया बिशप g3, h g3, क्वीन d6 खेला. ब्लैक को खेलना है ये पोजीशन में e5. अगर ब्लैक e5 खेल पाता है, इफ यू कैन प्ले e5, ब्लैक गेट्स गुड प्ले. एटलीस्ट हिज बिशप here opens up. So what will be your move here as white?
Rook h5.
Ooh, but okay, it's a nice idea, but okay, right now rook is hanging on h5.
Rook h5 तो capture कर लेगा knight सीधा.
Capture कर लेगा, sorry.
But this thinking about this open line and development of rook is already very good. Like sometimes rook h4.
Yeah, actually, just bishop f5 works. f5.
Here?
Sorry, bishop c5. Sorry, b5.
Okay, b5. Guys, notation. Yes, very good. Bishop b5 is the correct move and very strong move. Also, remember, London system is a lot about if he takes e6 d5 setup to play against this bishop because it's closed in. So after bd7, Magnus now took and played knight e5. You see, he got the control of the e5 square. Okay, let's see for further. Queen c7. He got his queen out. h6. Queen f4. Now, suddenly some tactical possibilities are always in the air, because you know, three pieces in a line always means either a pin but also a discovered attack. So this could translate into some form of discovered attack at some point. Queen e7. g4. So you see, Magnus now with all this under control, ye pura central thing, it's so much strongly posted that he now starts building up an attack on the king. Knight h7, queen g3, rook g8, castles. Okay, castles here is a little bit like abhi h file mein rook can't do much because g5 is controlled. So let's put the rook here, and next up he will try to now open up somewhere else, maybe with c4, because now this king is in the center. You see how plans change. Abhi tak, till black had the option of castling long, Magnus didn't move his rook. The moment he played rook g8, he realized that अब castle नहीं होगा, so he castled. Because now king will either remain in the center or go long. And so next move, he plays rook c1 now with the idea of c4. It's just very nice play by, and now you see king in the center open up the position. Takes, takes, queen takes, knight takes, and suddenly you will see with the rook facing the queen, the knight jumping in is all completely devastating. And Magnus is a beast in such position. He will finish you off without any problem. b4, queen b4, knight d3. क्वीन को क्या कर रहे हैं, ये डायगोनल से हटाने को ट्राई कर रहे हैं, सो दैट क्वीन मूव्स इन बेसिकली. सो ही प्लेड knight e4, knight b4, and in the end he won a piece and he won the game. Very nice, yeah?
Yeah.
So what did you learn from this game? Can we summarize it, and let's use some kind of a notepad to write down whatever you learn, so that at the end we can review that. Let's see what you learned from game number 1. Magnus versus Gayam Magami.
And like how we learned a little bit about the London system.
How to take control of
Very
e5
good,
square, I
very
learned.
good. How to take control of the e5 square. How to take it basically? Yes,
Bishop b5.
by putting the bishop on b5 and controls the e5 square. Okay, next, anything else?
How to not let our opponent castle also is a great.
Or you can say like how to play based on the needs of the position. Like when his king had the ability to castle, he didn't move his rook from h1, but when he played rook g8, he castled and played c4. So basically being flexible with the h1 rook, because the h file was open. What else? From the opening perspective, let's think. I know you learned also from chess middle game perspective quite a few things. What about opening perspective? Anything else you learned? Maybe if I show you the moves again, you can like quickly run you through the moves. That might be useful. So d4, d5, knight f3, knight f6, bishop f4, e3, e6, bd6, bg3, c5, c3, knight d2, takes, queen d6, bishop b5, takes, takes, knight e5. Yeah, so these were the opening moves.
Yeah, exchanging bishop on your own terms.
Very good. Yeah, this is nice. When bishop comes to d6, put bishop on g3, so that when he exchanges, you get the open H file. Very good. Okay. I guess these were at least the three main learnings. Anything else if you would like to add in this?
This looks like a good central square. मतलब control of center वाला चीज अच्छा है बहुत.
Maybe you can add like
You can
e5
break the.
is an excellent square for the knight, basically in this structure, because this knight really made the complete difference in the game. If you look at the game, how it continued, that knight really put a lot of pressure on black.
Yeah, I would have just exchanged it for the bishop.
Yes, but that would have been a mistake in this structure. Imagine that the bishop had a lot of things to do here. It would have been okay. But if you now exchange, this bishop is a problem piece for black. Even if he gets, let's say, bishop to b5, I just move my rook and the bishop is just shooting kind of in thin air. It's not much is happening, basically. So black strategy in the London is a dark squared strategy. If you look at it, almost all his pieces are on a dark square. So again, we can mention that black's strategy is a dark squared strategy in the London.
But he exchanged a dark square bishop very
yes,
early.
but for his dark squared bishop also. So his control reduced in that by that amount. Okay, let's go to the next game. One of my favorite games actually in the London system. I think not this one. No.
Why is it called London system?
I think first played in London.
Oh, I thought because it looks like the London Eye or something.
Usually all openings are named after places. So if you think about it, sometimes you don't even realize it. Dutch Defense, Budapest Gambit, Vienna, Catalan, so many, like, and then
yeah, but they're all called like Spanish game, Italian game, but this is called London system. Why?
Because it's like a system. No matter what the opponent does, I don't care. I'll put bishop here, knight here, pawn e3, c3, put bishop here, knight d2. So it's like you don't change much. Of course you can, but most of the London systems do not. Players do not. Okay, so e3. Let's look at another game, bd6. Now you know what to do. So now you're already slightly more experts than before. What do you play? Yes,
bg3.
And here he played c4. So I don't want to look at this game very much in detail, because it kind of, he goes away from London system and he starts playing some different opening here altogether, which Magnus does many times. This is now we are in completely, I think, Queen's Gambit accepted territory. So let's skip this game. Let's look at his game. This happened actually in Mumbai. In India, in Kolkata. Yeah, in Calcutta. And this was Kalsan Anand. He played e3, bishop d6, and now you will see here, Magnus also is very flexible. He played knight d2. He didn't go bg3 here. Okay.
Why?
Well, he said, okay, I'm also open towards this. So, when I was young, like when I was improving at chess, I would really be upset when someone gave me a lot of options. Like, I know if bishop g3 is good. I didn't like when someone said, okay, either tum nd2 bhi khelo, ye marega to bhi chalega. But now I value these options very much. I'm like, kabhi mere ko man hoga, if my opponent is a positional player, I might play bg3. If he's kind of aggressive, I might allow him. So knowing the options is a good thing. So take, and now this does some things to your position. Can we think about it? What do you feel?
f4 is a weakness, big weakness.
You think so?
Yeah, it is like.
because a pawn is weak
It's not protected.
if it's not protected or if it cannot be protected. But if I do this, it'll be like rock solid supported. So not a big weakness.
So, are you asking
What did this
what to
what did
move
this
now?
move achieve basically?
I
Opened
think
up the
white gets complete control
Yes,
of
first of all,
e5.
e5 is very much in white's control now.
Yeah, and knight can jump there
Yeah.
any time. उसका knight का अगर अपने mobility थोड़ा कम कर दे, then it's just permanent. That's about it. Like,
ये सेमी ओपन फाइल वो भी एक चीज है. And secondly, usually
right.
when you want to get this control no of the e5 square, you have to push your f pawn. When you push your d and f pawn, e4 square becomes weak क्योंकि ये भी pawn आगे गया है, ये भी pawn आगे गया है, तो ये square को pawn control नहीं कर सकता. But in this case, you get best of both the worlds. इसका भी control मिल गया and उसका knight cannot sit here because you will kick it with f3. Yeah.
This is actually not good for black then, right? Like
It has its
usually.
upsides and downsides. I would say that like black played queen d6, g3. It's not very simple, but white has a clear plan of putting his knight on e5. So b6, c3, castles, bd3, bishop a6, takes, queen e2, knight b8, and knight e5. And you will see that again it's a knight e5 का बहुत ही ज़्यादा यूज़ होता है ये ओपनिंग में. By the way, shout out to Shashank Aswath who said missed the session with Ganguly couple of days ago. Please take this contribution now instead. Also a pun. When did Ghoda become a respectable animal? When it got knighted.
Nice
one.
Like it.
Okay, c5, knight f3, knight e4, castles, f6, knight g4, and he took, played rook d1, and now his idea is to play c4. Of course, first is to take this knight, free में मर रहा है. f5, knight e5, rook b8, and now he played the move c4. Takes, rook d8, and rook f e1, and somehow, although black has this center, it's slightly weak in the center, and you can always push this knight away. So at the end, okay, Magnus managed to win this game because of the e6 square weakness now, and the knight is a brilliant blockader of the passed pawn. Okay, the position was kind of equal and it was blitz game. I think Anand also started to push at some point, but then this is what happens, yeah, with age sometimes the nerves control become weaker, and Magnus went on to win. I think Anand had some chances in this game, but yeah, he resigned here because first of all, this is hanging, this is forked. If you play rook g2, I take king g2, and then f3, rook is hanging. Okay, yeah. He resigned here. But okay, why I'm going a little faster in the middle game is because we want to learn it from the opening perspective. Let's look at one more game, just trying to understand what's happening. Like here, c5, e3. हाँ, और कभी कभी queen b6 is a nice move. Like if white had the pawn on c3, then the queen could come to b3 to queen b6. But because now it cannot come, b2 को defend करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है. So rook b1. And you don't want to put pawn on b3 because it weakens your dark squares a bit. Like बाद में bishop यहाँ आके So he plays rook b1, bd6, c3, takes, 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 knight c6, knight b3, a5, a3. And okay, this game also was, you will see that it's completely based on dark squares, and later on, like, knight could always jump to e5. I believe Dingliren was better in this game, but I think he made a mistake and he went on to lose. Okay, this is one game. Let's look at one last game also. नहीं ये नहीं, position, yeah, now. I think it was 1-0. Very, very nice game. This is, I think, one of my favorite games. But it was also a blitz game. Yeah, this is the one. Okay. So, d4. Let's say if you can play like Carlsen, okay? Knight f6, bishop f4, d5, e3, c5, c3, knight c6, knight d2, e6, knight f3, bishop d6. Now, what do you play here?
Bishop
Yeah,
d3.
he played this in the game. Castles. What do you play now?
Bishop b5 is pointless now. Bishop d3.
Bishop d3 is the
also
main move.
pointless.
Well, it's not pointless. You develop a piece, but Carlsen.
But that pawn push, pawn to c4 just ruins the whole thing.
Actually, the thing is, c4, I go here.
Okay.
And the problem is, because you don't have now pressure here, I can play e4, and that would somehow come in force. Like, let's for example say you play queen e7, I castle, you play b5 with the idea of b4, I play e4. Now I'm threatening to play e5, so you must take. I take, let's say take and take. I think white has a great position. You see his center is very strong, his pieces are very active. This all happened because black played c4 and could not stop e4. If you can play c4 and stop this break e4, then it's okay. But Carlsen played your move, bishop b5. Anyway, he's like, knight को मार देंगे वैसे भी उधर जाके. a6. Not the best move by Vichy. What do? Yes,
take the knight.
Take.
And then e5
yes,
is our.
It's yours. How do you play now?
Take bishop. Bishop takes bishop. Bishop takes d6 basically.
Suppose you take.
Knight to e5.
This is a very standard and would have been also a good way to play. But Magnus did something different. He played queen to a4. He was like, I like this move very much because it has two ideas. One is you want to take this pawn, and second one we'll see. So Vichy attacked the b2 pawn. He was like, तुम मेरा ये pawn मारोगे, मैं तुम्हारा pawn मारूंगा, which will be in his favor. So how should white continue?
I think white should capture the c6 pawn. because now the bishop is attacked twice, so he will have to take the
Yeah.
bishop first. And now when I take back the bishop and he takes the
Yeah.
b2 pawn, then I castle and somehow uh, I'll castle and then like he. My idea is basically get the rook on the b file, exchange the rooks on b file so that my rook also comes in, and now my knight is on e5
Yeah.
after that. Like I
Yeah.
go knight e5. Basically, like queen मेरा c6 पे रह जाएगा. My knight is on e5 and trying to exchange
Not
rooks
bad.
on b
Not
file.
bad. I think your suggestion is not at all silly. Takes, takes, takes. First, I'll take CD because if I take rook b2, you'll take queen c5, which wins a pawn. So CD. Now, you take back with the c pawn or the e pawn.
I think
Yeah,
c
because if you
pawn.
take with the e pawn, perhaps c3 will become weak later. It's a backward pawn. He lost its support and it's on an open file. So you take CD, and then after rook takes b2, you castle. And actually, speaking, you are right. In this position, it's like this bishop is the problem piece, and white has two superior knights. So one knight can go knight b3, knight c5, other knight can go to e5, and it can create a lot of problems. So I don't think your move is in any way bad or something. um, I'm just a little bit worried about something like cd, ed, bishop d7, where the queen might not get completely trapped, but it's not getting trapped, I think. Okay, so he played actually in this position a very nice move. Instead of taking on c6, he played a good move. Let's see if you can find it.
Knight
Knight
b3
f5.
looks like an option.
Yes, but then c4, and then you lose the b2 pawn.
Yeah, irritating.
Knight e5.
Yeah, knight e5 is also possible. Not a bad move.
Bishop takes
He
d6.
also possible, yeah.
Otherwise, rook b1 is also good, but I don't know. B4 is also
No,
a move.
b4 just cb.
C4 is a move, but c4 he captures, we
c4
capture.
kind of opens up the position when your king is still in the center. I mean, it's possible. Also, b2 hangs. Not a big fan. Actually, a very strong move now is. Let's think.
Knight e5.
Knight e5 is possible. No, not a bad. Really, it's a decent move.
Yeah, knight b3
Yeah,
is
knight
also
b3,
there.
c4.
Knight b3.
And then I take on b2.
Just b3. What's
Yeah,
the problem?
possible.
The
But you can win a kind of put a lot of pressure on him here and win a pawn actually.
Okay, so d captures c5 seems to be what?
I'll
D
show you
captures
one game
c5.
which will help you to get the answer. Okay, it was the game Fischer Spassky World Championship match. Game, very famous game number 6. Yeah, this one. So they played all this. And here Fischer made a nice move, which was queen a3. And the point was the pawn is on c5 here. So I put pressure this way. You can't take because the queen is pinned on e7. So now coming back to the Carlsen Anand game.
Queen
Yeah,
A3.
that's what he played. And you can't take here because d6 is hanging. And you defend your b2 pawn
Nice.
and you also attack the c5 pawn.
What if he just plays pawn c4?
Yeah, bishop is hanging.
Oh yeah.
So Vichy took on g3, hg3. Now rook opens up on the h file, and he played cd. So now, what will you recapture with this position? Let's test your thinking.
With knight on f.
Why?
f3. Because then we are continuing the attack on c6.
Yeah, but I can defend it. Let's say I play bishop b7. Just put my bishop here. Knight d4. Bishop b7.
Okay, this is not the move.
Yeah, the problem is that you gave up your center. He can push now e5, also c5. Not c5, queen into c5, but e5. And I don't... Yeah, I don't
Nothing,
like
yeah. Okay, so either you can capture with C or E.
Vaibhav, what will you take with?
I'm right now
Why?
thinking C, but I don't have concrete reasons. I feel like why do open the king file सामने से, but
king file opening is not a big deal because anyway your king will castle,
yeah, we.
suppose.
Okay, I'm trying to see a difference in these two.
Bishop?
If we take with C, then our rook can come and put pressure on C6. And then when you take knight to E5, that pawn will be hanging.
And any other... and do you want to take CD? You said that all these good things about C pawn. Do you want to take it? Okay, very good. This is the correct move. And also it's very clear that this is a weakness. If you take with the E pawn and there was no pawn on F7, I would say ED would also be a good move because E6 would be weak. But right now it's very clear that C6 is a backward pawn and it's on an open file. If you can get it on a semi-open file, nothing like it. So A5, castles, queen B6. What do you play now? Vichy wants to take, to outplay positionally a player like Anand is not easy because the moment he realizes, oh my god, मेरा ये pawn weak है, वो इधर आने वाला है, then he's going to bring his knight. He will switch on his sort of emergency response system, and he will quickly try to find ways to put pressure on you. So now he's attacking b2.
Knight e5.
But then queen b2. Then if you take queen b2, I go rook b2, and then your d2 knight will be hanging.
What about knight b3 now?
I think the problem which Carlsen felt is that after knight b3, there could be ideas of a4 in the position somewhere. Like for example, bishop a6. If you go here, he'll go, I don't know, maybe bishop c4. And then what starts to happen is that this b2 pawn remains weakness. So here he decided to get rid of that with b3. True, it loses this nice square for the knight which you wanted to go here. But अभी कैसे ये weak है, अभी इस पे पूरा focus कर सकते हैं. So bishop a6, where do you put your rook?
C6.
Yeah, very good.
c1.
Knight d7.
Knight
Yeah,
e5.
but then just takes and
Arey yaar, sorry.
Double up. Rook
yes,
c2.
not a bad move. Rook c2 is not at all bad. Even rook c3 would be logical.
Rook c3 actually.
But I think maybe Vishy played something more active here. Tactical हमेशा है ना एक what happens like is when we have an idea positional like attack c6, we should also be tactically switched on कि कुछ blunder हो गया, अरे ये रुक मर रहा है, something you can easily switch between the two.
Queen to d6 looks like a good move.
See, you are alert. Like suddenly plan था c6 पे pressure and of course queen d6 also put pressure. But ये knight last move हुआ, it was hanging. So you moved in and you attacked this and this both. Queen a7.
We get the pawn, right? Can we capture? Okay.
Can you capture it?
Why did he not go queen b7?
Well, if he went queen b7, then I would still take queen into c6. It was anyway hanging.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can just take the pawn.
Took with the rook. Bishop b5. He played rook c7. Rook b7. Brought the other rook. a4. And now what will you play?
Rook takes rook on b7. Rook to c7. Okay. Rook takes knight. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
No, yeah. Took.
Yeah.
And
And
resigned here. The main problem being white has not just two knights for a rook, but also an extra pawn on the queen side with complete control, and he resigned. So brilliant game by, of course, Anand didn't play so well, but again you will see that this was dark square strategy. You first go here, you take off his knight, then you put this queen on a3 which controls even more dark squares, then you kind of get your knight into the center, rook on c1, infiltrate with the queen, and he just resigned. Okay, last game before we end this training is the game which I witnessed in person of Carlsen. It was Carlsen
versus Vedit.
Yeah, but it was not a London system. This was this one here. This was, the situation was like this. This was Qatar Masters. It was an open tournament. Carlsen and Yu Yangi both finished on the same points. I think it was 7-9 or 7.5-9. And then they said we'll have a tie break. So blitz khelenge. This is 5-minute game. So I sat there. At that time I was not a reporter. Like ChessBase India didn't exist, or maybe just began. So I was not shooting the video. I should have shot it. And now I think of it. So Carlsen, it was so much tension because now Yu Yang is a world-class player. But 5 years ago, he was like talented, improving, while Magnus was like world champion. So Magnus had to beat him at all costs. So d4 and f6, bishop f4, d5, e3, e6, knight f3, a6, बिशप d3. अभी इस गेम में देखो a6 से बिशप b5 आइडिया स्टॉप किया तो मैग्नस डेवलप्स इट ऑन d3. सो c3, बिशप d6. अपना नॉर्मल स्टाइल, knight c6, knight goes to d2, castles, knight went to e5. So same plan, yeah, like you put your knight on e5. He went knight e7, castles, b6, bishop h4 खेला इसने. Now putting pressure on this diagonal from here. So ये बंदे ने knight f5 खेला. Magnus played bishop g5, h6, bishop f4, bishop b7, h3. This game was not like very perfect. बहुत pressure था दोनों पे. So they were just making moves. f3, stopping knight e4, knight d7, queen e2, knight f6, bishop h2, and g4. And this is how Magnus plays, like thoda solid, thoda ye. And now he is starting an attack on the king side. Maybe h4, g5, and everything. This knight is like the whole and soul. ये जब तक है तब तक black is not able to do much. So queen d8, queen g2, knight d7, f4, rook e1. देखो सब.
Why is black not
He
extending the
can, but
knight?
then he's like tensed कि अरे ये आएगा फिर मैं ये pawn आ जाएगा, मेरा और space कम हो जाएगा. So exchanging is not a happy thing to do. It's like and also if he could exchange and put his knight on e4, it would have been nice. But knight e4 को direct pawn ही knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, pawn down हो रहे हो. So even that is not in his favor. So rook c8, rook e1, cd, ed, bishop a8, and now g5. And I think this is great play. So his point is, if you take here, what's the problem?
You take the knight on
Yes, very
d7.
good. Knight d7, and then bishop is hanging. So okay, but knight d7, if I take here,
Wow. Bishop
take
takes on d6.
yeah.
Then you take rook.
Yeah,
I'll
if you
take
take rook, then you will take bishop f8, and then there is a mate on g7 also. So that would be better for you. I think right now the material is white is a piece up, so black must take a piece. So now it's equal. Now I take here. So now I am a rook up because there's a mate. So you take here. Now I am an exchange up, and when I take this, I'm rook up. So it's too much material. Just for free. I think this is how you calculate when a lot of pieces are hanging. Like white is pawn down. White is piece for pawn. White is pawn down. White is piece for pawn up. White is pawn down. White is rook for a pawn. White is now having a rook for a pawn and a bishop. And at the end, you can say white has a rook for a pawn. So you are always just adding and minusing the last transaction. Then you don't miss out. Okay, so he took on e5, bishop e5, knight c4, knight f3, and now basically it was a blitz game. So Magnus played this brilliant sacrifice. I mean, this simply blew my mind when I saw it in the like. यहाँ पे ऐसे
What?
नॉर्मल चल रहा है सब, and suddenly like with 30 seconds on his clock he took this, and even the engine say it's the best move. So like
Okay.
he took queen takes, and now
Captured.
Magnus saw that to defend this is very difficult, क्योंकि ये मरेगा और फिर किंग एफ फाइल पे जाएगा तो नाइट ई5 चेक एंड रुक विल जॉइन इनटू द अटैक. And if you play queen e8, which is to at least try and defend it, g6 pawn,
Bishop
then
d6.
sorry, yeah,
Bishop
bishop
d6
d6
hangs.
is hanging, or also queen f6, king g8, and maybe bishop g6 attacks the queen and further attack on the position. He played queen e8, he took. Now same idea, yeah, queen f6 and bishop g6. He played rook c6, queen e5, takes, knight e5, and the problem is that this rook has very few squares to go to, and also rook f7 check is coming in. So he finally took here, but after this it was मतलब उसने he checkmated him actually in the game, like knight g6 and now h4 is hanging and he resigned. So for me these are some of the games which made London system into a very nice system to remember, which is like it's a lot about dark square play. Like whenever you start putting your pawns on dark squares here, knight bishop ये, and then it's all about क्वीन साइड पे भी खेलते हैं a4, इधर भी एक आइडिया रख के रखा है, कभी तो a5 पुश करेंगे, एंड इधर भी एक आइडिया रख के रखा है कि किंग साइड पे खेलेंगे. देखो कैसे ही डिडंट रश इनटू इट, पहले बिशप को लेके आया, फिर रुक को इम्प्रूव किया, एंड नाउ यू नो इट्स दीज आर द स्मॉल थिंग्स विच मैग्नस डज वेरी वेल, कि राइट मोमेंट पे g4. So this is so maybe you guys can try this out in your games. I think what you will also find people playing is d4, knight f6, knight f3, g6, bishop यहाँ से नहीं यहाँ से निकालेंगे. But I think and maybe if you play with Samay also he may go for this. But White's plan doesn't really change much. You know, he goes h3 here many times just to put his bishop back on h2. इधर कैसा है, e6 नहीं है, so then bishop g5 doesn't attack the queen. So if you attack with knight h5, I would like to put my bishop back on h2 in most of the positions. We can just see once if Carlsen has had any game in this position. Yeah, he has had against Radjabov. So very quickly we can have a look how he plays h3 bishop, and यहाँ पे ना bishop e2 पे लगते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि black का plan है e5 e4 करने का. Black wants to do it later. So then d3, if the bishop is on d3, then e5 e4 will come as a fork. So therefore they play bishop e2, knight d7, bishop h2, because e5 shouldn't hit the bishop, so he just removes it. e5, now knight c3. He could also play c3 here, it's also a fine move, but he goes knight c3, knight c6, castles, rook e8, rook e1, a6, a4, b6, bishop c4, and again I mean this is just normal position. The main plan is that your bishop is sitting here shanti se looking at these weaknesses.
Good.
And I think Magnus also won 1 month ago in this opening against Nepo Nyashi. Same concept, but what he did was he didn't play very quickly e3 so that he can always keep an option of e4 and h3 खेल के रखते हैं वो लोग, so that you can get the bishop nicely tucked in to h2. And okay, this was another decent interesting game, and Carlsen managed to win in his favorite end game. किंग को देखो कैसे यूज कर रहा है वो, वेरी नाइस. Okay, later on he won. I don't know if he was winning, maybe it was not, but he won. Okay, do you have any questions on this opening?
What is the advantage of London opening over other London system over other
It's
openings?
just something simple to play. Like अगर मैं आपको कोई नया ओपनिंग सिखाऊंगा इटालियन और समथिंग, इट विल टेक यू many games, many sessions to understand. But London, you already seem to have a grasp now, you know, like after few things, similar patterns keep coming, similar things happen, and so once people learn London, they don't change it to any other opening. But I don't want to teach you guys to just play London कि आप सब कुछ छोड़ दो और ये खेलो. But कभी कभी बीच में you can play a London system here, London system there. And also I wanted to show you this to show how to prepare. Like we saw just 5-6 Carlsen games and we learnt a lot how to do it.
Yeah.
So looking at top games is important. Yeah.
Cool.
So do you guys want to play one London system game, or I think it would be good if you try out, if you are going to play anyway online today or tomorrow or whenever. And whenever you play a good game, send it to me, or any game in London. So then we can look at it in the next session and see if we can fine tune it further.
Done.
Yeah?
Done.
Okay. So I think we can end today's session with this on this note. In case you felt a lot of instruction and you want to solve one or two tactics, we can solve 2 tactical positions.
No, I think we are good.
I think it's good. We can do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
We can do some tactics and
Sure.
we'll meet.
ठीक है.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Sagar Shah.
See
Thank
you.
you. Bye. See you. Bye.
Bye, Vaibhav. Okay, guys. So today was the London system. Pretty intense. Yeah, I think they even didn't speak much in the entire session. But I think sometimes when you're learning openings, it's much more tedious. But I hope that you all learnt a lot. So if you learnt any questions that you have related to it, please let me know. By the way, shout out to Karthik Tiwari, who says Zwishen Zook. Okay, so just a small break, yeah, Zwishen Zook, your super chat. Yes, thank you, Nikhil. Yesterday I got a new title, which is the FIDE Trainers title. I don't know if you can FIDE, this one. FIDE Seminar, ChessBase. No, sorry. So, yesterday this was held. Yesterday the results came. If you remember, once I had said that I have to go and give an examination. I had to actually give a lecture also over there. But this one. FIDE Trainers Seminar. I don't know, where did they publish it? This one, results. So I got the FIDE Trainer title, which is like pretty good as a trainer. Now I can train some official teams in, say, the Indian team and all, and I can be the captain of the Olympiad team and all of that. But for me, it was more like this was happening, and I wanted to just take part in it, and I gave the examination and I cleared it. There is one more title above it, which is FIDE Senior Trainer title, but this you don't get by exams or anything. This FIDE gives you if your achievements are good enough, and usually I think in India there are around 6-7 trainers who are FIDE Senior trainers, like Ramesh, I think Vishal Sareen. There are a few who have been training for many years and are very good trainers. So I missed some super chats, says Nikhil. Okay, I'll have a look. Guys, I just want to bring to your notice one more thing. Today we have an online tournament which is Let's Build West Bengal. The link is in the description. I would be very happy if you guys can take part in this tournament. It's a big blitz event that we are holding, and there are many strong players who are taking part. So we have Deep Sen Gupta, Vishnu Prasanna, Argyadeep Das, Diptayan Ghosh, and we are trying to raise some funds so that all of this can go to on the ground help for CRY, and they need close to 5 lakh for immediate support and close to 10 lakh rupees for their entire plan. So we actually got the plan from them on how they can use these funds, and all of this is published here. So please have a look at it. And if you would like to play today, it's at 7 a.m. the tournament, and tomorrow is the simul with you can get to play against one of these titled players here. So you can play against them, and it would be very nice if you would like to join in. It's a good cause, and you can also play. Yes, the entry is open. Okay, let me see the super chats if I have missed. I don't know which were the super chats because my activity feed is also not showing me right now. Maybe it's because I restarted this. No, not 7 a.m. 7 p.m. It'll happen at 7 p.m. in the evening. Okay, any questions on Peter Kavanaugh? Thank you so much for your message. I see that there was a lot of discussion on mathematics today in the chat, which was kind of interesting. I would have liked to join in, but I was doing chess, and so you guys were busy discussing maths. Maybe next time. Yeah, Boomer Edit on Instagram was very nice. Yeah, let's have a look at that. It was very interesting. I think what was the name of that channel? I think Samay Raina Daily. It's a nice channel. I liked it. So I can just switch off the black screen so you can see.
सागर शाह क्या बूमर आदमी
was nice edit by the channel Samay Raina Daily. I think you can follow it, and there's nice content there. Okay, Nikhil says Rakshit super chatted and asked if you have checked his mail. Yes, Rakshit. This I have checked your mail and I'll respond to you today because yesterday I did see the mail and I couldn't respond. So today I'll do that. Okay, guys, thank you today for joining in. Please try to join the fundraiser. It will be very nice. And yeah, it was a very nice edit by Samay Raina Daily. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and if you do play some interesting games in the London system, please mail them to me at chessbaseindia@gmail.com. It'll be great fun to have a look at them so that we can improve this. I just wanted to show you how you can prepare an opening without any specific lines just by looking at games of a top player, and I hope it was useful. See you then, and I think today we'll have also the opening session somewhere in the afternoon. I'm not really sure about the time yet because I may have to go to the family right now, but I'll let you know. But stay tuned and see you guys tomorrow and today afternoon. Bye.